Yo everyone, UFC Fight Night Lewis vs Teixeira just wrapped up, and the card was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, this was one of the first cards that I didn't actually get to watch live. I had to watch the recording of the card instead. I was out, I was with friends, but I did watch the whole card. I skimmed through a few fights, and I am going to recap the card for you guys now, because there were quite a few interesting fights and finishes on this card. And I also wanted to put out what my results were for this card, because I almost completely clean sweep this card except for the main event, but we're going to get into that very shortly. I'm going to put up right now on the screen what my results were for my bets so you guys can see them all. I believe we were profiting about 1.5 units. I think it was just under, but I will put the results up on the screen for you guys now. If you guys want to skip to any fight in particular, just to see my thoughts on that particular fight, I will put timestamps in the comment section below and in the description, just for anyone who wants to skip to those. I will start off with the main event, Derrick Lewis defeating TALLISON TEIXEIRA. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was a little bit annoyed early on. I thought it was an early stoppage. I was yelling a little bit, but this was just a first sight reaction to the finish, and of course this was because Derrick Lewis was ruining my clean sweep. I did pick TALLISON TEIXEIRA to win this fight, and I should have listened, guys. I should have listened to all those guys. I'm going to point out Mr. Gabe Gordon in my comment section. If you hear this and you hear your name here, Gabe Gordon, this guy was trying to convince me so many times to not go with TALLISON TEIXEIRA, saying Derrick Lewis is being overlooked and that I was overlooking Derrick Lewis. This is my fault, guys. I almost got the clean sweep. I should have listened, should have gone Derrick Lewis here. And you know what? My instinct reaction was to yell and say it was an early stoppage, but I don't think it was an early stoppage. Upon watching the replay, TALLISON looked out of it. He basically fence climbed his way back up, and he shouldn't have been able to do that in the first place. And that's when the ref stepped in. And I do think it was an okay stoppage because of that. If he got up and he didn't basically do that fence climb to get up, I think I would have been still on the side of an early stoppage, but brutal left hook by Derrick Lewis to sit him down in the first place. And I thought he was playing possum a little bit with that shot to the eye, but I guess he did sort of get hurt in the eye by the knuckle of TALLISON TEIXEIRA, but great win from Derrick Lewis. He did ruin my clean sweep of the card, but it is what it is, guys. We were only one fight off a clean sweep here. And then something else about this fight, Derrick Lewis just had to go and take his shorts off once again, moon the crowd, pretend he's a dog and start pissing in the corner of the octagon as well. I don't know what he was doing. The guy's entertaining, guys. He is a laugh for sure, but that's pretty much the end of the main event. It didn't last very long, guys. It was short and sweet. I do want to talk about the co-main event, though. Gabriel Bonfim defeating Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, watching live, I actually thought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won this fight. I thought he won rounds 2 and 3. I'm going to say a very, and when I say very, I mean this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I thought Gabriel Bonfim had more of a chance to win the second round on the judges' scorecards than the third round. I don't know how. Most of these judges actually gave Gabriel Bonfim the third round, I believe. I think that's what I saw on the scorecards afterwards. I thought Stephen clearly won the third round. I thought Gabriel had the better moments in round 2, but then Stephen rocking him at the end of round 2 pretty much solidified him getting that second round. So I thought it was a close fight, but I thought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson should have got the nod here, and that would have been a great win on his record as a 42-year-old fighter in the welterweight division. So I am happy, I guess, I got this pick right, but I'm pretty sad. I never want to take credit for stuff like that. Never want to take credit for a pick I believe is a robbery, so that's just pretty bad, guys. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this fight in the comments below, because I actually thought it was Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's fight. I actually did score it to him in the end. Moving on now down the card to Steve Garcia defeating Calvin Kattar, and this was pretty one-sided, guys. I didn't expect it to be as technical. Steve Garcia came out and he knew what he wanted to do. He had a game plan. He out-tit-for-tatted Calvin Kattar, and he rocked him bad. I was surprised he didn't get the finish there for a second. It was a pretty clean knockdown, but at this point in Calvin's career, I just think he's done. I expected him to completely retire at the end of this fight, and I don't think he'll be fighting many dudes in the top of the division anymore. Steve Garcia is the real deal, guys. I've been saying it for a while. Very happy he got the win here. Great performance overall. It was a pretty dominant win. Moving on down the card to Morgan Charriere defeating Nate Landwehr. And this was a pretty fun fight, guys. It was a finish for Morgan Charriere in the last round. Great KO finish by him. I actually thought it was pretty close. I gave Morgan, I think it was the first round. Nate Landwehr came back strong, had more volume in the second round as well. So I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. But Morgan just looked clean overall. Nate still looked a little bit sloppy. Even though he had more volume, it was like I said in my prediction video, Nate is not careful enough, guys. He can get caught, and he did get put away in this fight. But Morgan was getting clipped a lot in this fight. That was something that I didn't expect as much as what did happen here. As far as what I saw on the replay, Morgan did get clipped a lot more than I thought he would in this fight. But great performance from him. Another finish on the card here. And we move down to another finish again with Vitor Petrino defeating Austen Lane. And this was just too easy. It's a lighter man skill thing. Vitor Petrino just outskilled Austen Lane. He pretty much got, I think it was into full mount. As far as what I saw on the replay, he got into full mount straight away, ended up getting the back, and then choking him out. So it was a pretty easy win for Vitor Petrino. He was in my confident picks list as well. But something I will mention is that for my confident picks, as far as what you guys could see from my bets list, I was only one fight off my confident picks list parlay scoring, as well as my main card parlay scoring. And this is the third week in a row I've been one fight off that bet hitting. So I'm a little bit sad. It is what it is. I shouldn't have put TALLISON TEIXEIRA into that confident picks list. And I did say in my betting guide that if anyone wanted to replace him with Chris Curtis, I feel like that might have even been a better pick to put in the confident picks list. And it would have been, because Chris Curtis won. So let's move on to Tuco Tokkos defeating Junior Tafa. And I said it, guys. This is why I had him as one of the underdogs in my bets. Junior Tafa and the Tafas in general cannot grapple, guys. Once Tuco Tokkos got him down or got his hands around him, he couldn't really stop him from getting into dominant position, couldn't get back up, and couldn't stop the submission win. He had his moments. Junior Tafa looked like he was going to get Tuco Tokkos out of there, though, but it's not enough to rock him. He couldn't stop the takedowns at all. If he could have some sort of takedown defense, so many of the fights that he's lost would have just been wins, in my opinion. Very unlucky for him. Great for me for picking another underdog. All three of my underdogs I picked on this card did cash out, so I'm super happy with that. It was Tuco Tokkos, Jake Matthews, and Valter Walker, but we are going to get to those in a second. Moving on to Chris Curtis defeating Max Griffin. Oh, man, I don't know. I think I watched this fight on the replay. Like I said, guys, I didn't get to watch this fight card live. But what I saw was a pretty easy decision win for Chris Curtis. I didn't think it needed to be a split decision. I think that's what it was, a split decision. But I thought Chris Curtis clearly won 2 rounds. But pretty disappointing fight overall. I reckon Chris Curtis could have got a TKO win here. He played it a bit safe, and it made for a little bit of a boring fight. Moving on now to Jake Matthews defeating Chidi Njokuani in the first round, by the way. Great underdog to pick in Jake Matthews. Fantastic submission. Took him down extremely technically. It was fantastic to watch. And once he took him down, got his back straight away, got the hooks in, got the rear naked choke in. He had to adjust a couple of times, but he ended up getting the tap. It was very impressive by Jake Matthews. This guy is really good. I love supporting me Aussie boys as well. Fantastic fighter. And he will not get underestimated in the future by making him an underdog, I don't think, anymore in his next matchup at least, depending on who he's versing, of course, but I don't think he'll be the underdog in the next matchup. Let's move on to Eduarda Moura defeating Lauren Murphy. Man, this was, I think, if I remember correctly, I watched this on replay. Like I said, about all these fights, I watch them on replay. Pretty boring overall fight. I thought Eduarda Moura would win this fight pretty clearly. She did win pretty clearly, in my opinion. I think she won the first 2 rounds. And then the third round, there was a scary moment with Lauren Murphy with a submission. I think she had the guillotine for a second, but pretty clear win for Eduarda Moura. A little bit of a boring fight here. Great win for her. I did have her as my lock of the card here. I will flash this on the screen for you guys now. I had Jake Matthews, of course, as my underdog lock of the card. And then, of course, Eduarda Moura as my favorite lock of the card. So, happy I got those both right. Moving on now to Valter Walker, defeating Kennedy Nzechukwu. And this was my third, of course, underdog pick. I'm very happy with this. I did not expect Kennedy to look so lax in the stand-up. He basically just gave the opportunity to Valter Walker to push him back and then clip him, getting in close, and then fantastic from Valter Walker, switching levels, going for the takedown, immediately securing the takedown, and then when he thought, oh, this is gonna fail for a second, immediately going for the inside heel hook, and then it looked like he just tore Kennedy Nzechukwu's knee to shreds. I don't know what happened, but he was screaming at the end of that fight. Third heel hook win in a row for Valter Walker as well. Very impressive, guys. Like I said, any grapplers in the heavier weight classes, you just got to pick these guys to win these fights. And Valter Walker was an underdog here, and I didn't really understand why. Moving on now to Mike Davis versus Mitch Ramirez, and he does defeat Mitch Ramirez here. Very easy fight for him. He looked like a -1,000 favorite here. He was a better grappler, better striker overall, and he gets the finish there in that fight. So, and it's pretty surprising because I actually do like Mitch Ramirez. He's had great performances before. Like I said in my prediction video for this card, I thought Mitch Ramirez looked pretty good in his fight with Carlos Prates. I thought this guy looks pretty solid, but I'm starting to agree with a statement that I heard, which is that Mitch Ramirez sort of only looks good for like one round, and it's sort of true. I think he looks really good for a small amount of time, but then he starts just making too many mistakes. He can be dominated in certain positions. He looks bad on the feet in certain circumstances. He just doesn't keep up that good pace or technique in his fights. And Mike Davis was able to capitalize on that. Great win by Mike Davis. We move on to the last fight of the card here with Fatima Kline, or the first fight of the card, actually. Fatima Kline defeating Melissa Martinez, and this was a pretty easy performance for Fatima Kline. Pretty easy win is what I meant to say. A lot less grappling than what I actually expected. I didn't expect Fatima Kline to just piece her up on the feet the whole time, outdo her insignificant strikes from round 1 to 3. And then get the head kick KO win. I definitely didn't expect that in the last round. Great finish by her, great win, but she was a heavy favorite in this fight, guys. It's what you expect from heavy favorites. You want them to get this type of win. Great win by Fatima Kline. Overall, guys, this event was pretty solid. I enjoyed the event overall. I'll flash my bet results on the screen for you guys one more time. I was only one fight off getting a lot of these other bets to cash, and in general, clean sweeping this card. So I hope you guys appreciate the recap of the event and of the card, and overall my reaction to the card, and just showing what my results were for this card. So if you guys have any questions for me, or if I missed out on anything, or if you disagreed with anything here that I said, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And I always see the comments, guys. I'm happy to reply to anyone in the comments, have a bit of a chat in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next time.